is the pricing. When buyers are to determine their supplier list. What are the aims and objectives of the compliance in the industry? What are the big retailers, either in the apparel industry or the food industry or textile industry, want to ensure that their products are sourced from the vendors or the factories that are compliant with the fundamental social principles and are manufactured in a most ethical environment with an acceptable quality level. And the name of the few big retailers the name of the few big retailers are Walmart, either it is a Tesco or a Gap or a Nike, Reebok, Mark and Spencer or Carrefour. So any big retailer or any big customer, while placing the order, they want to ensure that their products are being manufactured in a most ethical conditions, with a minimum damage to the environment. Specifically, after this pandemic, most of the people are very concerned about the environment. So that's why it is now become the heart of our business. We are not only considering about the quality, we are also considering about the delivery schedule. We are also considering about the pricing. The heart of these three are that the compliances. Compliances, the standards of the compliance are to ensure that the goods are produced in a most ethical conditions without or minimum damage to the environment. What is the significance of compliance? Why do we need compliances? What are the results of implementation of the compliances in any industry? By taking care of social, environmental, and ethical issues, organizations today can ensure better productivity. Indirectly, it affects our productivity, it affects our consumer sentiments, it affects our corporate reputations, and also it also helps in increasing the net surplus. So what is the background and need of the compliance? Compliance की जरूरत कहाँ पड़ी? कहाँ से हमें? Why do we need to follow the compliances? There are basically two reasons behind this. Number one, apparel industry has a long supply chain. We don't know where the goods are, or where the goods from our premises come from, which manufacturer and under which conditions our goods are manufactured. Let us say this is a retailer. Retailer are getting the goods or getting the orders to these two suppliers, let us say A and B, and A and B in turn gets the goods produced from other two suppliers, and these two suppliers may get the goods produced from other suppliers. So goods due to this long supply chain, the need of the compliances become more urgent. इसके लिए हमें जो डायरेक्ट परचेज, क्योंकि इसमें वी डोंट हैव द डायरेक्ट परचेज बिटवीन द रिटेलर्स एंड द मैन्युफैक्चरर. द सप्लाई चेन highlight that a retailer gets the product from a number of suppliers who further get the product made from the other suppliers, where the basic work environment is always remains constant. Number one, apparel industry has a long supply chain, and number two, informed consumer. Today, media plays a very important role in informing the consumer or the customers. We have the long list of suppliers. In the competitive world, we are in the global environment. India, China, Brazil, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Pakistan are the major textile producing countries. These supplies the goods to the concerned retailers, and they in turn sell the goods to the ultimate consumer. And media is basically informing what is happening in the concerned factories of the textile companies directly to the consumer. So in today's era, consumer is well informed, and media is the channel who is telling all the things. about the consumer. And once in any country, in any factory, suppose child labor is undergoing, and that things come out and know about the consumer, it gives a bad reputation to the brand, which will ultimately results in decreasing the sale volumes of that particular brand, which and hence affecting its profit margins and the net surplus. So the retailer and the consumer is informed about the on-site conditions in which products are being manufactured, which are purchased at retail stores. Also, the consumer values, and the most importantly, today's consumer is also values the social accountability, ethics, and these things are passed via the retailers to the supply chain. So these are the two main reasons that basically accelerate the need to follow the compliances by the apparel industry in their textile, in their units. Number one, apparel industry has a long supply chain. We don't know where the shirt we are using where it is produced, in which factory, in which premises it is being produced or manufactured in a company. Number two, today's consumer is very informed, well aware, and media, particularly social media, is playing a very pivotal role in informing, in awareing the consumers. So what are the drivers for social and ethical accountability? We have basically these three things. Number one, concepts, business, information. If we are following the human rights, if we are basically this is any global brand, any global brand. Global brand is doing the business. They have earlier they have to earn the money. They are only doing the business. But nowadays they also have to follow the human rights. They also have to follow the certain compliances. And if the business and the concept or the human rights joins, this results comes to the social responsible investment. And when this information that the particular brand or the particular business produces the goods by following all the human rights, by social ethical, in ethical, most ethical position, then this will help in generating the reputation of the company through the media. It may be either the social media, it may be either through the newspaper, it may be either through the trade magazines, it may be either through the journals. So this is basically a long-term investment. If any business produces or manufactures the products in compliance or by following the in a most ethical environment, and this information come out to the customer in the market, this will leads to the company's reputation, increase the company's reputation, which in turn helps in increasing in their sale volumes and hence increasing their profit margins. So, need for compliance action is also built by international campaigns, human rights, International Labour Organization, United Nations, and globalization of business competition, and aware consumers who are increasingly willing to boycott individual products or even the global brands. This may lead to the massive reduction in sale volumes for the trading companies, which is found violating human values, basic human values, and thus to a reduction in the order of their factory. So, what is the public or consumer and the business position for need of the companies? From the public position, it believes in the fundamental human value. It has increasing awareness of business practices and their impact. And from the business point of view, it is under increasing competition from its competitors to support human values, and they has to be social responsible. Earlier it was the choice. Now if they want to sustain in the market, they have to be socially responsible and wishes to put up a face that are good corporate citizenship. So this is basically the public position and the concept from the public position and the business side. And what are the consumer expectations? What are the expectations of the consumer? When it buys high quality goods, then consumer expectation are that they must produce in safe and healthy conditions. It must be produced by adult workers who are properly paid. Their factories were damaged to environment is minimum, and products meet the required quality consistently. So these are the basic expectations. Whenever we buy the products from the market, it must be produced in a safe and healthy condition. It must be produced by the adult workers who are properly paid. If there is overtime, then they must be paid for that overtime. And factories, when the goods are being produced, that the damage to the environment is almost nil or minimum, and the products meet the required quality consistently. By following this, the final product, the finished product, will also meet the consistent required quality. What is the impact of the compliance in the global business trade? So, to run successful, efficient business with buyers, manufacturers, suppliers needs to provide high workplace standards, good health and safety, fair pay and conditions of working contract, qualify the production capabilities by delivery on time, order quantity with quality requested. So these are the three things these are the important elements in today's business success, that the goods that are manufactured must have a high quality, must have a produced in a high workplace standards, must ensure good health and safety, and must fair pay and conditions of working contract, and qualify for the production capabilities by on-time delivery, and at the quality of the as per the quality standard that they are requested. So what is the impact of the compliance in the global business trade? Hundreds of factories in Asia have shut down when after the textile quota was lifted. Not because of that they have lack of good machines, not because they have the lack of quality product, but realizing that people or the workforce are, but not realizing that people or workforce are strategic asset. They are not treating the people as the people. Companies are not treating the people as the people. They are just treating as from the business point of view. They are fail to understand that people are the biggest strategic assets of any company. So important elements in today's business success: to run successful, efficient business with buyers, manufacturers need to provide high workplace standards. They must have good health and safety environment, fair pay and conditions of working contract, qualify the production capabilities, delivery on time. Production capabilities means on-time delivery, and maintain the quality requested. So what are the tools for compliance? These are the tools for compliance. We are basically two types of audits are there: code of conduct audit and the certification audit. And if the first party audit and second party audit and third party, if basically we are implementing the compliance in our industry, we can audit it by self. If we are auditing by the company staff, by the company personnel at their own factory premises, then it is termed as the first party audit. And if the compliance is audit of the compliance is done by the customer at the level of the customer, then it is done by the second party audit. And if it is done by the third party agency, it may be either SGS or the TUV, then it may be the certification organization, it is termed as the third party audit. So basically these are the tools of the compliances. And what is audit? Audit is basically a systematic, independent, and documented process for obtaining evidence and evaluating the systems or methods objectively to determine the extent to which they meet the standard criteria or not. So, based upon that, the auditor of three types: first party audit, second party audit, and the third party audit. We can further divide it the audit into two types, that it may be termed as the announced audit, or it may be termed as the unannounced audit. Announced audit, as the name suggests, that there must be a prior information on the date of the visit. On the date of the visit to the audit site is given or not to the company. Most of the audits are announced audit, where the date of visit, time of visit, and number of auditors and other official visiting and scope of visit is defined prior to the audit schedule. So it is in a code of conduct audit. It's basically a buyer's audit based upon the social compliance and the technical compliance, security compliance. In the social compliance, it will be basically the Mark and Spencer UK. Technical compliance may under Carrefour Technical Assessment France, British, that are basically these are the companies that are follow the technical compliances, and these are CTPAT, that is the security compliance, and the environmental issues, basically Kingfisher Vendor Assessment UK. So these are basically the code of conduct audit. And the certification audit, it's an audit based on the certain standards that are laid down by the independent organization of the group of companies. And these are the basically the certification audits that you must heard about: social accountability, 8%, worldwide responsible apparel production, fair labor association, ethical trading initiative, global sourcing principle, GSP, and the business social compliance initiative. And what are the independent auditing companies that are basically carry out the certification and code of conduct audit? And few of these companies are BBQI, ITS, SGS, TUV, DNV, and CSCCC. These are the few of these auditing companies. Basically, what is social code of conduct audit? Buyers are committed to, in the social code of conduct audit, buyers are committed to ensure the safe and fair treatment of men and women around the world who are involved with the manufacturing of their products. In the technical code of conduct audit, quality products are produced as per the buyer's requirement at the manufacturing site. And in the environmental COC audit, code of conduct audit, buyers are committed to minimize any impact on the environment that occurs during the manufacturing of their products. And the security audits, buyers under the federal requirement want to make sure that the product from which is coming to their country, specifically USA, is safe and does not pose any danger related to the terrorism prevailing. Basically, security audits जो है आपका CTPAT वगैरह का, जो basically ये USA में ज़्यादा follow होता है. I remember one incident few years back. You must heard that Walmart, that is in the USA, they found some explosive material in their containers while unloading the material at their warehouse. So that propagates the demand of the security compliance, to implement the security compliance in their from their security compliance from their vendors. And under what under social in the security compliance, what they do, they normally install the CCTV cameras in the manufacturing units of the vendors, and specifically particularly where the goods are dispatched, finally packed in a container, loaded in a container, they should be done in a very packed area. No, it will be a restricted area through which the goods will be packed on a container. And this is the social security compliances. So in case you come across any question during the session, please post in the question answer box. We will take them immediately after the session finishes. Anyone, if you want to ask any question, please post in the chat box. We can take up immediately after once the session finishes. And now come to the certification audit. We have already discussed that it is a social accountability, 8000 worldwide responsible apparel production, fair labor association, ethical trading initiative, global sourcing principle, and the BSCI. And what are the independent auditing companies? These are the independent auditing companies. And this is the methodology to conduct audit in any industry. We have to conduct the first one. We have to follow the introductory meeting. Then we have to done the interview with the management. Tell them that we are going to conduct the audit in the industry. We convince the management that this is not a fault finding mission. This is just it is a part of the process. It is an audit. It is the inspection of the documents, factory site inspection. You have to audit team has to physically inspect the factory site, interview with the employees, that it is not a one-day game. Okay? It is regularly the concept that are implementing are regularly following throughout the year, throughout the 365 days a year. Determination of the audit results, and then if they found any anomaly during the audit, then a corrective action has to be compiled, and final meeting with the management of the audit team has to be done with the management, in which all the nutshell of the analysis of the audit has to be discussed with the management team. And then we will discuss about the important compliances that are following in the apparel industry, particularly in the export. And this is number one. You must have about the social accountability 8000. The social accountability 8080 developed by the Social Accountability International (SAI), and the SA 8000 standard and verification system is a credible, comprehensive, and efficient tool for assuring the human workplaces, and the workers' right and the working conditions are its primary focus. I repeated, Social Accountability 8000 are developed by the Social Accountability International, and SA 8000 standard and the verification system is a comprehensive system, is a comprehensive tool to ensure to protect the rights of the workers, to ensure the human working conditions in their workplaces. It is basically developed in the 1997, and then the SA 8000 standard published in late 1997 and revised in 2001. The SA 8000 standard and verification system is a credible, comprehensive, and efficient tool for assuring human workplaces. It is a solution or a tool that is designed to ensure compliance with the highest ethical sourcing standards by integrating management tools, that serve the needs of the business as well as the workers, in which both the stakeholders, workers as well as the business, are benefited by ensuring the compliance within the industry. So what are the functions of the SAI? Social Accountability International, they have to accredit the certification bodies, prepare guidance document on SA 8000 for company, accredit certification bodies, SAI licenses qualified auditors to certify workplace compliance with social accountability standards. And in preparing guidance on SA 8000 for any company, they basically the SAI helps in drafting and revision of social accountability standards, guidelines for the independent verification of compliance for factory and the auditors. And in the audit certification bodies, SAI regularly audits the auditors. SAI never audit the factories, mind it. SAI always audit the auditors and reviews and revoke the complaints against the auditor or the certification against the certification bodies. And what are the functions of the certification bodies? They have to review the competent auditors. They have to perform the audit. They must have an own certificate and contract with the client and surveillance audit for certification validity. The name of the few certification bodies we have already discussed in the earlier slide. You must remember BBQI, ITS, SGS, TUB, DNB, CSCC. These were the independent certification bodies which are performing these functions. So SA 8000 is the only standard for social management system which, due to its demanding requirement, is accepted worldwide. And what are the mission of SA 8000? The sole mission or the sole need is to improve the working conditions globally. Improve working conditions globally. It provides universal standard in all business and country sectors, working parallel with human rights and labor organization worldwide, provide an incentive which benefits the business and the consumer community. And what are the fundamental principles of SA 8000? It is a management lead. It must company-wide in scope, focus on prevention rather than detection. We have to first formally, religiously implement the basic concept of SA 8000 in our company. The company has to be has to provide the best human conditions, not just for the sake of to get the certification, but just for the on the ground of humanly condition, that the company or the management take care of their workers. It is the foremost condition. If any company religiously implementing the SA 8000 standard, then they must not, the management of the company must not implement or apply in the company only for the sake to get the standards implemented. So this is basically the core of the fundamental principles of SA 8000. And once these principles are implemented, religiously in any company, then it will give benefit to the business. And apart from give also benefit to the investors and the consumers. What will the benefit for business? It will enhance the company and the brand reputation in the market. And the improves employee recruitment, retention, and the productivity, and supports better supply chain management and the performance. And what will be the benefit for the consumers or the investors? It will gives a trustable assurance for ethical purchasing decisions. So these are basically the benefits for while implementing the fundamental principles of SA 8000 in any company. And what are the SA 8000 definitions? How can we define some terminology from the context of the SA 8000 standards? Number one, when it comes to the company, it means any organization that is responsible for implementing the requirements of this standard, including all personnel, directors, even executive management staff, supervisor, whether directly employed or contracted, represent the company. Company is a company to be audited. This is the definition of the company, in which company is any organization which is responsible for implementing the requirements of this standard. And who is the supplier or the subcontractor? Who is the supplier or the subcontractor? Any business organization which provides the company with goods or services important or used for the production of the company's product is supplier of the subcontractor, from which the goods are to be contracted or further given the orders that are the subcontractor. And who is the sub-supplier? A business organization in the supply chain which directly or indirectly provides the supplier in any form, in either it may be in the form of goods or services that are integral to the production of the suppliers, is the sub-supplier. And what is the means of remedial action? Action taken to make correction to a worker or former employee for previous violation of workers' right as covered under SA 8000 is the remedial action. And what is the corrective action? The implementation of systematic change or solution to ensure an immediate or ongoing remedy to a non-conformance is the corrective action. And the definition of child from the SA 8000 point of view is any person who is attaining the age less than 14 years is termed as the child. 14 years, the age of a person who has less than 14 years is the child, and the young worker is the who has the age above the child, that is above 14 years, and below the adult, that is below 18 years. Then he is a young worker. And what is child labor? From the context of the SA 8000, any work by a child younger than the age of 14 years will be considered as the child labor. And what is the definition of forced labor? If we have get the work done from any worker, from any worker, which he or she is not doing voluntarily, then that labor is termed as the forced labor. And the remediation of children. Remediation of children means all necessary support and actions taken to ensure the safety, health, education, and development of children who have been subjected to child labor is remediation of children. And the home worker, a person who carries out work for a company under direct or indirect contract at a place other than on company premises for money against the product as specified by the employer, irrespective of who supplies the equipment, materials or other inputs, is termed as the home worker. होम वर्कर की कैटेगरी के अंदर जो भी, जैसे हमें किसी गारमेंट के अंदर हमने बीड्स वगैरह का काम करवाना है, कोई एम्ब्रॉयडरी का काम करवाना है, देन नॉर्मली वी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड it to the ladies, then they perform it, they done it while sitting at their home without visiting the factory site. Then these workers are termed as the home workers. So the condition of working conditions of the home worker is equally covered in the context of the SA project. You see, the either it is the subcontractor or the sub-supplier or the home worker. The human working conditions, the law of human working conditions are equally applicable to them also. They are not only restricted only to the factory premises. The good human working conditions are equally applicable to home workers as well as the premises of the suppliers, sub-suppliers also. What are the social accountability requirements or the criteria? These are basically the elements of the SA 8000. Basic requirements of the SA 8000. Number one, that company not indulge in any type of child labor. The company not indulge in any type of forced labor. They are properly following the due health and safety conditions, health and safety conditions and environment, freedom of association and right to collective bargaining, means they have the right of all personnel to form and join trade unions of their choice, and bargaining collectively should be respected. There should not be any discrimination on the basis of caste, origin, religion, disability, gender, political affiliation, or the age. We have to provide the equal employment opportunities to all the persons, irrespective of these criteria. And there should not be any interference with the exercise of the religious rights of any personnel in the premises of the company. And to follow these disciplinary practices, there should not be any mental or the physical verbal abuse. There should not be any corporal punishment, mental, physical, verbal abuse while following the disciplinary practices. So till time, any question or query till date, till this slide? As far as the working hours are concerned, they are also prescribed from the SA, from the point of view of SA standards, that any person should not be work more than 48 hours per week, with at least 1 day off for every person for every 7-day period, voluntarily overtime paid at premium rate, and not to exceed 12 hours per week on a regular basis. Means minimum working hours are prescribed along with the maximum overtime, maximum number of hours in the overtime are also prescribed. And as far as the overtime work, that should be voluntarily. Okay? We cannot compel the worker to do the overtime. It solely depends on the worker whether it is feasible for him or her to do the overtime or not. And what about the compensation and the wages? The company shall ensure that the wages paid for a standard work period and must meet the legal and industry standards. It should be sufficient to meet the basic need of the workers. That the compensations, the wages or the compensation paid to the workers must ensure that a worker should be able to meet both the ends. They should able to meet the basic requirements of roti kapda aur makan. There should not be any disciplinary reductions, wages or the benefits details provided. It should be clearly understood and wages to be paid in cash or check form. There should be no false arrangements or false apprenticeships scheme or appointment to avoid any fulfilling the obligations to the person. It should be very transparent and a fair manner. So as far as the management system is concerned, management of the company is the one who take all necessary steps to plan, implement and review the policies related to the SA800. They are if the management intent is there to religiously plan and implement the SA800 standards, only then it will be feasible. If the management is not of the view that SA800 cannot be implemented, then it cannot be implemented wholeheartedly. It should be done from the top level. It should be done from the management level, and then gradually to the ground level. Because the policies and the management reviews and the planning and the implementation part is to be done at the management level. Any personnel lower than the management position, either it may be the managerial position, cannot plan or implement the SA800 without the proper due support of the management. So what are the social accountability certificate position procedure? We can get the SA800 guidance document from this site, sa.intl.org. Registration up to which audit is to be done within a year. Once we registered it, then audit will be done. Then initial assessment we will term as the pre-audit. Then certification audit is done, and then the surveillance audit is to be done at regular basis.
गूगल की तरफ से है कोई मीटिंग की जो है वो भेजेंगे हमको मेल में तो निकाल कर.
So this is all about the SA800 standards. So the basic elements that we have discussed in the basic element discussed under SA800 are these are elements that we have to protect we have to respect and protect the rights of the workers in the form of we have not indulged in any type of child labor, we have not indulged in any in the forced labor in any form. We have to ensure safety, we have to ensure proper safety and health conditions in the working environment, not in our factory premises, but also in the premises of the contractor or the homework, as well as the home workers. If the audit is to be done in the SA800 audit is to be done in the company, then it may be done. It also be done in the contractor's premises also. It is a part of that extended part of the company. Contractor premises or the home worker premises is the extended part of the companies. and it is a company only which make ensure the proper safe health and safety conditions, proper health and safety conditions in the premises of the contractor as well as the home. You must heard the news few years back, in which one lady was doing the embroidery work while sitting in their home, and on the other hand, they are also the same woman is also doing the uh, kitchen work along with the take care of their child. So that was again a part of the big news on the part of the in all the newspapers, and that news is that work is done to be done on the behalf of a certain reputed brand. So ultimately, it hampers the image of the brand. That company or the brand is not taking enough measures to ensure the health and safety standards in the company's premises, in the manufacturer premises, as well as the home worker premises, as well as the contractor premises. So, in that context, the reputation of the company is greatly damaged or the hampers, through which, and also उससे क्या हुआ, अब कंपनी की अगर रेपुटेशन अगर अफेक्ट करती है, इट इज आल्सो गोइंग टू अफेक्ट द सेल वॉल्यूम ऑफ द कंपनी एंड इन टर्न अफेक्ट द profitability of the company, which no company, reputed company wants to bear that scenario in such a competitive world. So once the customer got annoyed, once the consumer get to aware about the negatives of any company, then it is going to hamper the name of the brand in a big manner. So this is the company that it is a company only that is responsible for ensure the health and safety of the workers, not in their own premises but also in the premises of the contractors as well as the home workers. So we have also provide freedom of our workers to form the associations, and we have to provide them right for the collective bargaining. There should not be any discrimination in the form of caste, creed, religion, age, disability, and there should not be any in the form of disciplinary action. There should not be any capital punishment or the verbal abuse in any form. Working hours are also well defined. Wages and compensation are also well defined under the standards. So this is a certification procedure. How we can able to get the SA certification? Number one, we have to apply it. Then we have once the registration is done on the portal, then within a specified period, within a stipulated period, audit is done in the company premises. Then initial assessment is made, which is known as the pre-audit, then certification audit, and then the surveillance audit. And then the other compliance, that is the worldwide responsible apparel production. This is particularly implementing or the following in our industry only, garment industry only. It is basically an independent non-profit organization dedicated to the certification of lawful, human and ethical manufacturing throughout the world. जो basic elements हैं that are more or less similar as that of the SA 8000. SA 8000 is a big umbrella. If we implement the SA 8000 religiously, then these are the certifications that are ultimately covered in the automatically covered in their premises, in the factories. So normally, when any company starts implementing start following any compliances, then they may start with the smaller one, which have certain limited compliances, which have the limited stipulations. Then they go for a wider. So the parameters covered under the RAP are the more or less same as that of the SA 8000. Like we have to prohibit the forced labor, we have to protect, company has to protect the prohibit the child labor. There should not be any harassment or abuse to the workers, and with the proper compensation and benefits to the workers. Or working hours are well defined. There should not be any discrimination. Health and safety ensure the health and safety conditions of the workers, and to provide the minimum or the least damage to the environment while manufacturing, and the custom compliance and the security. These are the basically the parameters that we are going that were covered under the RAP requirements. That is the worldwide responsible apparel production. So these are the elements that we have discussed. So now we come to the CTPAT, that is the Custom State Partnership Against Terrorism. It is a voluntary program. All participating entities in the import supply chain cooperate with USA. This is CTPAT is mainly implementing by the USA based customers, and it basically continuously reviewing the existing security procedures and implementing the enhanced security arrangements. Companies will be able to be certified by USA customers as CTPAT members. So I have also quote one example in this, like in the this was the incident of Ludhiana based manufacturer, in which they are supplying the goods to the Walmart in the USA, and at that time, in the final shipment, the company Walmart has found some explosive materials while unloading the material from the containers. So after that, they are very curious, and their company also receiving repetitive email threatening mails from the terrorists that their all their showrooms or all their chain stores will be destroyed by them. So to avoid them, to protect them, they are implementing the CTPAT. Under this CTPAT, USA-based customers make ensure that their goods from where their goods are coming, they should be come in a very planned manner. There should not be any damage to the retail stores to the in any form. कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है भी उसके कंटेनर्स के अंदर एक्सप्लोसिव मटेरियल आ रहा है, उस चीज को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए उन्होंने क्या किया कि व्हेन एवर द फाइनल पैकिंग of the containers has to be done, they are done in a very closed manner. They are done in a very in a CCTV cameras and in a very restricted manner, that the entry to that area will not be open. Only the persons who are loyal to the company, or who are very old in the company, are given the I-cards, and they are only authorized to pack the final shipment of the goods in the containers. So this is one of the this is one of the compliances come under that is the CTPAT under the compliances. And about 60 next we come to the BSCI, that is the Business Social Compliance Initiative. About 60 European retailers have formed an association under the FTA, that is the Foreign Trade Association. They have made one common social evaluation checklist for the suppliers, saving them from meeting various code of conducts depending on the number of retailers with whom they work. It aims at steady improvement through the re-audits. It basically covers it also covers the requirements of SA, which is an important social management system. So the protection of nature and environmental management, that is the ISO 14000, that comes the protection of nature and the environment is an important operational field of corporate responsibility because we all profit from the intact habitats. Because manufacturing of the goods has to be done in such a system, in such an environment that it should be almost negligible or minimum damage to our environment. So technical assessment of the factory, major issues covered during technical assessment, production system, layout. What are the major issues covered during technical assessment? Layout, cleanliness, operating instructions, identification of production nodes, production capacity, maintenance schedule, quality system, incoming, inline, quality control. These are the basically a list of the technical assessment of any factory. Technical assessment of factory that is related to the products. So one thing that I also want to show you. These are basically the compliance requirements in any apparel factory. You must see I am facing certain glitch in my system. Just a minute. Yes. These are the compliance requirements for any apparel factory. You must see that there are danger sign being put up in case there is any danger in particular material, like open wires, electrical wires cannot be. If there are some open wire, electrical wires are there, then we must be cover it with some danger sign so that any loss can be human loss can be prevented. So all areas, machines which can be dangerous to any extent to human body being needs to be marked properly with the right color and sign. Fire extinguishers, and first aid boxes should be identified with proper sign. Then you see these type of stairs. How risky these type of stairs are there? They are very unsafe and should not be frequently used by the workers, because in case of any incident, fire incident, the workers in the top story building, in the first floor, the second floor, the third floor, they will not be able to come out from the fire easily. So these should be these come under basically the safe working conditions. Now you see the how the condition of drinking water facility is there. It is very unsafe. It looks very unclean and insufficient. Drinking water arrangement. It is basic need. It should be clean and hygienic, and it should be in sufficient number. Now next come to the regulations, wages, working time. Circular should be available in the factory. It should be properly displayed in the notice board. That what are the company's regulations that are following, and all the electric fittings. Basically, we are dealing in the combustible product. Our all the garments are very prone to fire very easily. So these type of open wires not only leads to not only leads to the human loss, they can also damage the cause a big financial loss to our company in the form of big fire of our orders. All electrical fittings should be properly closed. Care should be taken not to keep garment or any combustible material near these open wires of the electrical connections. Now you see this area, fabric area. There should be proper lighting. It should be provided at all the workplaces, side of the sewing machines. It not only ensures the safe working condition for the human being, but also directly impacts the quality of the final product. Because no inspection can be done by any personnel in inadequate light. So proper lighting system should be there. So more or less all the working conditions, human conditions are directly or indirectly affecting the product quality, our product quality. If we are providing the right working conditions, human working conditions to our employees, to the workers, then only then our workers will be satisfied, and only then they work with the full zeal, with full dedication, and they wholeheartedly work to get for the best to make the best quality of the product. And if we are able to produce the qualitative product well in time at competitive price, ultimately what we have done we have done in the readout in the first opening slide, that these three things: qualitative product, finished product at minimum price, and on-time delivery, with the support of the social compliances. With the social compliances means pure human working conditions, good human working conditions, and all basically this will ultimately result in satisfaction of our customer. And when our customer got satisfied, when our customer got delighted, the orders got repeated. If the orders got repeated, the sale volume got increased, and if the sale volume increased, ultimately the profit margins of any company will increase manifold. Apart from increasing the company's reputation in the market. So this is basically we have to ensure the clean working environment, clean production floors, and by using the face masks. So this is all about the overview of the compliances specifically in the apparel export industry. So every apparel exporter who wishes to, or who intends to export their products in the international market, they have to religiously follow these compliances. They have to religiously implement these compliances in their units, and all that. With all that, my session on these compliances in the apparel export industry got over. And in case now we come to the question answer session, in case any query you have, any question regarding this compliances, then we will discuss. Over to audience and the active participants. Sorry, this is the surprise session. We have to. This is not the planned session. I will like to say the speaker earlier it was planned over Dr. Poonam Agarwal. Due to certain meetings in our in-house meetings, our session was that session was transferred to the some other speaker, Mr. Roop Majumdar, and who has suffered some major mishappening in the morning today, and I have to take over this session. It is not a plan; it is very unplanned session. So next session from now onwards, all the session will be held as per schedule. The second session will be taken over by Madam Jasleen Chopra, who is ex Globus Mumbai, and nowadays she running basically a own startup unit, and her topic will be on range plan that will be mostly related with the uh, she will cover from the context of the merchandising point of view, that how any company will decide the range plan, how will decide the company, how any company will decide the order plan, and all that, ultimately to ensure the right package or right pack of the at sufficient time at regular intervals to their consumers, to maintain the so that the interest of the consumers remain there in the brand. So this she will be discuss about the range plan in the second session that will be started at 2:30. So now we can take the questions. Anyone, please.
Sir, yes, we have a query from Jasprit Kaur. Yes, Jasprit.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Hi. First of all, I would like to give my sincere thanks to your team, Mr. Harpreet. I would like to say that can you please add a topic regarding ISO, something regarding ISO? Can we get some knowledge?
Yes, madam. Yes, ma'am. Of course. ISO basically it is a international organization for standards. ISO,
Yes, yes,
and it is basically the standards that are we own self made and followed it.
right,
There are no standards that we have certain standards that are already planned.
right. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Harpreet ji.
मैडम डिस्टर्बेंस थी आपके यहाँ पे, तो मैं थोड़ा सा इसको elaborate कर देता हूँ. ISO standards just in the SA but we see in the SA standard, we see the certain prescribed standards are there. It may be in the form of child labor, it may be in the form of forced labor. There are certain prescribed certain elements in the SA 8000. But in the ISO standards, we don't have any prescribed standards. In any company, if any company wants to implement ISO in their unit, they have to formulate that standards by their own, and then they documented it, and then they start implementing in their unit. This is the basic sole concept of the ISO. And any industry, any manufacturing unit, any training activity, any education institute, or even any shop, or even any hospital can take the ISO certification. And the same way, it has to be regularly audited by the certification agency, and the certification agency that which certified the ISO to any company or the institute. So this is basically the main sole difference between the ISO certification and the other social compliance certification. So
Thank
ISO,
you.
yes, ISO so it is not so difficult to maintain or apply in any institute. It is basically
Right.
Any
Right,
other, please?
right.
Any other?
Any other query? I think all topics are clear, Happy sir.
Then we wind up this session, and in the next session we start at 2:30 by Jasleen Chopra on range plan, and the meeting room of this will remain live. We are not going to close this meeting room, and the session will going to start at sharp at 2:30. It will continue till 4, followed by 30 minutes question answer session. Thanks.